Hello my yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel. Now today's video I'm going to show you how to crochet our Ocean Cruise tote bag. I love this bag. It measures about 22 inches around and it's about 12 inches tall, not counting these fun handles. Now this is designed using Premier's brand new Fable yarn. The color of this is called Nessie, and all of the yarns are just gorgeous. This one is called Mermaid. This one over here is called Gnome. And so they're just fun yarns. You can make this bag with just one skein of the Fable yarn. It has 7 ounces on it, and you can make, like I said, this bag with just one skein of that yarn. If you want to go and check out all the other colors they have in this Fable yarn, along with all of the Premier yarns, of course, I'll put my affiliate link down in the notes underneath this video. You will not be disappointed with this yarn. It is soft, it is sturdy, and it makes a perfect bag. And I absolutely love the way this bag turned out. A lot of times I give my things away, but I think I'm going to keep this one. It's a great tote. Perfect for parties, perfect for summer fun. Take it to the beach, take it to the pool, take it on that ocean cruise. It's a great, great bag. And the neat thing about it also is it's super easy. No fancy stitches, almost all double crochets with a few single crochets at the top. So easy. It is an easy pattern, but I would even call it a beginner pattern. And working with this beautiful yarn, it is so easy. Okay, now I'm going to put the link for my blog, as always, that has lots of pictures and notes on it. I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. To make our Ocean Cruise tote bag, you're going to need about one skein of this yarn. This is Premier Fable. It's 131 yards or 7 ounces. So if you don't have this 6 weight super bulky yarn, you can use any super bulky yarn. And you need about 131 yards or 7 ounces because we made our bag with just one skein of this yarn. Now this is called Nessie, and this is the yarn that I'm using, and it's all shades of blue. Isn't that beautiful? I just really love the way that it turned out. Now this one here is called Mermaid. And the neat thing about all the Fable yarns is they all have fun names that are not what you would call your basic names. They have to do with fables or stories. And I love that. Nessie, like the Ness monster, lives in the ocean. I thought it was perfect for this bag. All right, so we need about 7 ounces of a super bulky yarn. We're going to be stitching today with our N hook, which is a 9mm crochet hook. You're going to need 2 rings, and these rings are 6-inch rings, and these are going to be our handles. Then you need a nice size button. It can be an inch to 1.5 inches or bigger. Just keep that in mind, and I'll explain to you how to make the button loop make it fit the button of your choice. This is a wooden button. I thought it was perfect with this, but you can use a plastic or some other button that you have. I just like a nice big button for this bag because we're using a nice big chunky yarn. This is just a wooden button that I had on hand and I really love it. It's a 1.5-inch button. You need a yarn needle that has a nice big eye in it so that we can get those ends weaved in. And then of course you need a pair of scissors. We're going to be starting at the bottom of the bag and then working our way up the sides. Then we'll add those handles and the button loop. All right, let's get started. We're going to begin with our slip knot. We're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to join this into a circle, so we'll put our tail of yarn over our hook and pull it through that loop to make our circle. And then we'll just make that stay knot. Now, if you prefer to use a magic circle or another method to make your beginning circle, totally fine. All right, so we're going to go in, pull up a loop, and chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make 9 double crochets. Our chain 3 count as 1, and we're going to make 9 more. And you'll also notice as I'm stitching these, I'm stitching over this tail of yarn. That way I can gather closed that hole at the bottom of my bag. We do not want a hole in the bottom of our bag. Alrighty, so I'm just going to continue till I have 9 double crochets plus my chain 3, which will count as 10 double crochets. And when you begin working with a bulky yarn, it can be a little bit clumsy if you've never done it before. Same thing with working with a big crochet hook, but stick with it. It's totally worth it. All right, so here's my chain 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 double crochets. All right, so now we're going to join to our chain 3 with a slip stitch, and we'll go ahead and chain 3. All right, we're going to turn this over and gently pull on that string and grab our needle. There we go. Got a little bit of fuzz there. And we're going to weave this in securely because, again, we do not want a hole. We do not want a hole in the bottom of our bag. So I'll go one way for a few stitches, and then we'll turn and go back the other way. And this is a little bit difficult because sometimes a needle with a bigger eye doesn't have as pointed a tip, and so it can be a little bit hard. But just go with it. Get in those stitches the best that you can because we do not want a hole in the bottom of our bag. And just take your time. All right, so we clip that off. We turn it back over. We have 10 double crochets. We joined with a slip stitch to our chain 3 and chained 3. Now we're ready to do row 2. Our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We're going to double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3, and now we're just going to place 2 double crochets in each. Get in there. We'll place 2 double crochets in each of our double crochets around, and that will give us 20 double crochets. And I think you'll already see how quickly this bag is going to stitch up. Using this nice bulky yarn and a big crochet hook, we'll have this bag stitched up in no time. 2 double crochets in each of the double crochets around. We stitched a double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3 and then 2 in each around, so we have 20 double crochets. We're going to join to our chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. Now for round 3, we're going to place 2 double crochets in the next stitch, not the same stitch as our chain 3, but in the next stitch. And then we'll place 1 double crochet in the next. And so our repeat for row 3 is 2 double crochets in the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the next. So we're doing what I like to call 2 and 1. 2 in the next, 1 in the next, and repeat all the way around. 2 double crochets in the next, 1 double crochet in the next, and repeat all the way around and join back to our chain 3. So I have repeated that 1 and 2 all the way around, so I have 30 double crochets. We're again going to join to our chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so now for row 4, we're going to place 1 double crochet in the next stitch. And that gives us 2 because our chain 3 counts as 1 and then we double crocheted in the next. Now we're going to place 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 1 and 2. All right, and so what our repeat is going to be for row 4 is 1 double crochet in the next 2. So there's 1 and 2, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. So what we're doing is what I like to call 2 and 2. 1 double crochet in the next 2, 2 double crochets in the next. All right. Sorry about my scratchy throat today. Don't know what's up with that. Alrighty, so 1 double crochet in the next 2, 2 double crochets in the next, and then we'll just repeat that working all the way around our bag. And again, join back to our chain 3. So I have repeated 2 and 2 all the way around, so I have 40 double crochets. I joined to my chain 3 and chained 3. So now we're not going to increase anymore. So on row 5, we're just going to place 1 double crochet in each of our double crochets, working all the way around our bag. And so you can see this is going to be the distance of the bottom of our bag, and it's a really nice size for the bottom of our bag. All right, so now we're just going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of the double crochets, working all the way around. No more increases. All right, also, this is the outside of our bag, this is the inside. So you'll want to curl that up so that you're now stitching facing the outside of your bag. One double crochet in each of our double crochets around. So for row 5, we did 1 double crochet in each of our double crochets around. We joined to our chain 3 and chained 3. And so now what you're going to do for the body of our bag to work up the sides is you're going to repeat row 5 for 7 more rows for a total of 12 rows. All right, so we have 5. You're going to work 7 more, repeating row 5. All right, so we're going to repeat row 5 for 7 more rows. I stitched those 7 additional rows, so I have a total of 12 rows at this point. After you finish your 12th row, because we did 5 and then 7, you join to your chain 3, only this time we're only going to chain 1. And what we're going to do here is just stitch 1 single crochet in each of those double crochets around. And that's going to give us a nice little trim edge to make it a little bit more sturdy that we can attach our handles to. There we go. 1 single crochet in each of the double crochets, working all the way around the top of our bag. I have stitched a single crochet in each of those double crochets around. we're going to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch and chain 1. Now on this row, we're going to be adding our handles. And again, I've got these 2 handles that measure 6 inches. These are just metal rings that I picked up at my local craft store. 6-inch rings. They had them in gold and silver. I just wanted the silver ones. All right. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet in the first 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to take our ring and we're going to put it right here because we're going to attach it using these next stitches. And we're going to single crochet around the ring 8 times in the next one in each of the next 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you will notice, we'll push it up, but you'll notice it'll have a natural gathering effect. And that's exactly what we want it to have. It'll help kind of close up the top of our bag. So now we're going to stitch in the next 12 stitches, but not going through the ring, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so now we're going to do on this side what we did on this side. So we'll grab that second ring and we'll stitch over the ring in the next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, and so that leaves these last 6 stitches. And so we'll just stitch 1 single crochet in those last 6 stitches. 2, 3, 4, get it in there, 5, and 6. All right, and now we're going to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch, and we'll cut our yarn. Whoop, there we go. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to go through the back. We're going to grab that loop and pull it to the inside. That way we can weave it in on the inside and it leaves a nice finish. All right, so here's our rings all lined up. I'm going to grab that needle with the big eye and I'm going to weave this in. And then when we're done, I'm going to show you how to add that button loop and button. Now we're going to add the button loop, but you need to decide which side of your bag is the front of your bag. And I really like how the colors lay on this side, so this is going to be the front of my bag. And what we're going to do is we have those 8 stitches where we stitched over. We're going to go through that and there we go. Count over 4. Grab your yarn. All right, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 16 chains. And don't worry about this, we'll take care of that in just a second. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now we have a large button, and we want this loop to be able to go through the large button. So to accommodate that button, we're going to slip stitch in the 8th chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now take a look at that, see if that's big enough. I've got a pretty big button, so I think I'm going to go ahead and go in the 10th, just because I want to have enough room for my big button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so I'm going to slip stitch in that 10th loop. And before I go any farther, I'm going to make sure my button goes through that loop. All right. And that's what you need to do, depending on if you have a bigger button or a smaller button, adjust this loop to fit your button. All right. So now I'm just going to slip stitch back down the loop, or the chain, not the loop. And if you want your button loop to be shorter, you can make it shorter. I wanted it long just because I like the look of it, but of course you can do yours shorter and chain less beginning chains. Alrighty, so now I'm at that last one. I'm going to go into the stitch next to it and slip stitch. There we go. And cut that. And tie that off. And then we want to tie off both of those beginning loops to the inside of our bag. So I'm going to grab that. There we go. And pull that to the inside. And we'll take our needle and weave these in securely, because we don't want our button loop to be coming off. And again, it's a little more difficult when you're using a needle that's not real pointed, but it'll still work just fine. Just go through those stitches and attach it securely. And I will tell you, I do put a knot in this one. After I've gone through a couple of stitches, I will do a knot because I want this to hold. I don't want to lose my button loop and have it come off. All right. So we've got it to the inside, and we're just going to tie a knot. Don't tell my crochet friends. They'll think I'm terrible. Nice, secure, snug knot. All right. Oops. All right, so now I have my button loop. And again, it's attached to the back of my bag, and we're going to bring this forward. But before we do that, I want to show you how it looks on the back. So that's where we have attached it just a little bit. And if you're using the same color, you could always use this blue section. I went with the darker blue because I wanted you to be able to see it. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to line up our button loop. And what I'm going to do is I grabbed some regular yarn because I want to make sure that it's sewn on securely. And this is just some acrylic medium weight number 4 yarn. And I got a needle that I know will go through those holes in my button. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do this. Now you might want to accommodate a little bit of room here in case you fill that with things. And so I'm going to put my button about right here. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some stitches, make that loop. That way that's on securely. When you sew a button on to a fabric like crochet or knit, make sure you go through the stitches and not the holes in between. All right, okay, and so now I'm just going to sew this on securely. And it's real important that you sew this on securely because this is going to hold your bag open and closed. And so make sure you go through those stitches and not the holes in between. And I'm doing this quite a few times just because I want to make sure that it's going to hold. All right, now I'm going to thread this one on. And I'm going to go under here and take it to the back so it's not seen. All right, let's open this up inside here. And I'm going to do something just to make sure it's on there nice and secure. I'm going to thread this on here, and I'm going to go through a couple of those crochet stitches, and I'm going to do the other tail of yarn. That's why I like to start with a long tail of yarn, because again, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that button is going to stay on there securely. So I've gone through the stitches, and now I'm just going to make those knots because we want our button to stay put. All right, now I've given it a little bit of room so I can fill it with towels and things. And there's my button with my button flap and my bag, all ready for me to take it to the beach, to the pool, on a cruise, or just use as my everyday summer purse.